Well, it's been a while, but we're gonna fire up the time machine that is one of my recordable Cartoon Network tapes. This one was recorded in November 2000, so almost a whole quarter of a century ago. Freaky. So we start off with some Toonami, the action-packed block that was actually fairly new at the time in the UK. We're right in the middle of an anime called Gundam Wing, which I never actually watched that much, but I did have pajamas of it, so that's something, right? Basically, it just seems to be about giant robots blowing stuff up, so you'd never guess it came from Japan. Outside of that, though, it's hard for me to really understand much of what's going on here.
And your heart was really in it. What's the point of having strength if you don't have the heart?
See, that was the problem with anime for me growing up. Shows like these thrive on long-term story arcs, and as a kid just catching random episodes on TV, it always felt like I was being dumped into the middle of an ongoing story without any explanation. So despite Cartoon Network constantly bigging up all the anime on Toonami, I could just never get into them. That said, I still liked watching Toonami just for all the cool space stuff in between. We don't get to see much of it here though, since the grown-up block is closing down for the day, and going back to all those silly little kids shows.
Program will resume again tomorrow at 5:30 p.m.
So next up is Tom and Jerry, a cartoon way more violent than anything shown on Toonami. These are all classic Tom and Jerry shorts. First up is Trap Happy from 1946, where Tom calls up a cat exterminator to get rid of Jerry. And you know what's weird about this one? Tom actually talks. Yeah, in fact, he talks twice.
C-A-T, cat.
So much for the movie being an oddity. Actually, this whole short is kind of weird. Like, why is the cat smoking a cigar? I mean, there's kids watching, you know? And it ends on a very family-friendly note, with the exterminator blasting at Tom with a shotgun. You would never see this on Cartoon Network today. Next up, Safety Second from 1950, in which Tom and Jerry basically play with a bunch of fireworks and blow each other up. Don't try this at home, kids! The next short, I'm Just Wild About Jerry, and I'm sure you are too. This one's from 1965, and by this point, they changed the character designs a little to make Tom and Jerry much more cutesy. That MGM parody is still pretty awesome though. This one's a lot softer. Tom and Jerry just mess around with each other in a big toy shop, but then right at the end, Tom almost gets hit by a train, only for Jerry to save him at the last second. See? I guess they really are friends. But the strange thing is that Jerry turns into an angel at the end. Does that mean he's a saint for helping Tom out? Or did he get hit by a train himself? I mean, you have to be dead to be an angel, right? So much about these two is open to interpretation. The last short is, can I even say that on YouTube? This one's also from 1965. Tom is bugging Jerry so much that he enlists the help of a fairy godmother, who turns Jerry invisible so he can get his revenge. It isn't that violent, but Jerry does cut all of Tom's fur off with a pair of scissors, and for some reason, he has a Bruce Willis vest on underneath. I mean, what's that all about? At least they see the funny side of it too. Time for the best bit about old recordable tapes, the adverts. These are the things that really take you back in time, like this funky ad for Sugar Puffs, with a honey monster playing football in an airport. I don't think security would let him get away with that now, and you've gotta love those cheap free cereal box gifts.
Dublin's been booked, and he's not the only one!
Hey, it's Jonathan Pierce. They sure loved his voice around this time.
New Footy Hero Revealers. Get one free in special packs.
For us kids though, toys didn't come free. Like I was obsessed with these Power Rangers toys that came with big weapons.
6 new superheroes, each one with a different mega weapon and a unique action feature.
I actually collected them all just so I could build that giant death bird. Good times.
Rescue your imagination with the exciting new Lightspeed Rescue Morpher and the powerful Lightspeed Rescue Ranger figures, only from Bandai.
You know what else we loved? Video games. And back then, they'd make video games out of anything, like The Land Before Time for the PlayStation 1.
This looks like a good spot for the egg. I told you we could do it. That was easy.
You might laugh at these graphics now, but this stuff was fascinating back then. It always had me itching to grab a controller.
Uh-oh. I could use your help now.
The Land Before Time, out now on PlayStation.
A couple of celebrity appearances in these ads too. Check out Anton Deck in this ad for a music album.
39 more wicked hits. New tunes from Feeder, Fatboy Slim, and Mystique. CD UK the album. It's wicked.
Whoa, that's like getting smacked in the face with the early 2000s. And then Dermot O'Leary has a bit of a thing going with the green M&M.
Oh, hey, Green. Thanks a lot for coming on to do the show.
Oh, anything for you, handsome.
Right.
That's disturbing.
There's also ads for boring stuff like shampoo and toilet paper, but at least they try to make it look interesting.
Your Pantene has transformed into 5 brand new care collections.
Ooh, a shiny new logo. That's worth a new ad. Or having a dog toilet paper the inside of a house, which must be a novel new prank.
Andrex.
But when some people are bored, they go on holiday to Center Parks. The weird thing about this ad is that they start reading out classic poetry.
What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. No time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep or cows.
Because nothing says great poetry like a budget holiday camp.
Centre Parks. For a brochure, call 08705 200 220.
And because this was recorded close to Christmas, we also get an ad for the park catalogue.
Save a little each week with Park, and come Christmas 2001, you can really give your family something to feast their eyes on.
I always thought this was really weird. Apparently you were meant to save money by buying stuff early for next Christmas, but if you spent all your money on next Christmas, how were you supposed to afford this Christmas? I still don't get it.
For your free catalogue pack and details of how to become a Park agent, call 0800 426 426 now.
And of course, it wouldn't be a kids' TV channel without an ad for insurance. Churchill was a classic.
Churchill, could you save me money on my car and home insurance?
And around this time, he was just starting up his very first website on the shiny internet.
Now you can visit us at churchill.com.
The internet, huh? Maybe I should try that sometime.
Giving the dog a phone on 0800 200 300.
Promo-wise, there are a few things here we've seen before, like the Powerpuff Girls and my boys Ed, Ed and Eddie, looking cool as always.
Head downtown and impress your mates with a tattoo. Keeping it real.
Never gets old.
Ed, Ed and Eddie, every day at 4:30 p.m. on Cartoon Network, the best place for no tunes.
And somehow, Angela Anaconda was still lurking on the channel.
Who says blondes have more fun?
I honestly have no idea how this show ended up here. I'm still trying to block out the memories of the last time I saw this show.
A saint, she ain't. Angela Anaconda, weekdays at 7:30 in the morning on Cartoon Network.
Another cool thing was the Cartoon Network website, promoting all kinds of Gundam goodness.
Your assignment is to log on to the Cartoon Network website to win Gundam Wing mobile suit models from Japan.
Websites like this really were a treat to experience at the time. Getting on the internet was very rare back then, and I'd always visit the Cartoon Network site whenever I was on the PC at my aunt's house. Like, I still have fond memories of all those Flash games. Maybe a video for another time. But maybe the biggest treat on the channel was Cartoon weeknights. In the US, it was only on Fridays, but in the UK, every weekday was a party, packed with all your favourite Cartoon Network shows.
Start your evenings experimenting in a laboratory, then go hanging out with 3 very naughty boys. Go cruising with a real ladies' man, and save the world with 3 little girls.
It's a very jazzy promo. It just takes me back to being young again, lounging on the sofa all evening, and stuffing my face full of fruit winders. Ugh, you had to be there, honestly.
Only here on Cartoon Network.
Oh, and finally, a bizarre item where Cow beats up the red guy with her udders. Never shall we speak of this again. The last show on the tape is The Flintstones, the classic caveman comedy. It's a pretty basic episode where Fred is mugged by a criminal who pretends to shove a gun into his back.
I'll just take your wallet, sir.
The criminal gets away, and Fred pretty much spends the rest of the episode being called a coward for not fighting back, because every time he reenacts the crime, everyone pummels the living daylights out of him. He gets beaten up by the cops, Barney, even a kid.
You pretend I'm holding a gun on you. I've just sneaked up on you and you're caught by surprise. You haven't got it.
I mean, what's the lesson of the story here? That if someone mugs you, you should always try to flip them like a professional wrestler? What if the criminal really did have a gun? Because most bad guys usually don't pretend. You wouldn't stand a chance.
Oh, sure, he's brave, and I'm a coward.
Oh, Fred, I didn't say that.
Well, you didn't have to, Wilma. I could see it in your eyes.
But when Fred catches the criminal robbing a store, he... Oh, for crying out loud! Why does this always happen to me? All of my childhood tapes just end on cruel cliffhangers for no reason. It was a nightmare. And this tape doesn't even use all the recording time. It just ends less than an hour in. What a waste of a tape. Oh well, I guess that just sums up this tape. It's like a fleeting memory at the back of your mind. You forget about it for years, and then when you remember, it's like a dizzying dose of nostalgia. And that's why VHS tapes are the best time machines. Thanks for watching this video, and look out for more reviews coming soon.